Okay, so to wrap up the end of the semester, I'm going to talk about 5 things that I really enjoyed and learned from this class. So the first thing that I learned, and I don't know if this was ever a lesson, but it was something that you always mentioned, and that was delegation, and to find ways to delegate your workload. And I think a lot of times as a single advisor in like a one advisor chapter, I guess you would call it, program, it'd be really hard to delegate sometimes. But in multiple advisor programs, I think there's a way to learn how to delegate together and to improve that workload. As well as we need to remember this is a student organization and we need to let our students run it and at times fail, so they will learn how to be prepared and get the things we need for those activities and events. The second big takeaway I had was all the curriculum resources. I really liked that Excel file that you gave us. I will for sure look back. I saved that under on my computer. I made a file for this class and I saved it in there for resources for in the future, and I'll for sure use that because I think we forget how many resources are out there, and sometimes we just need a head start. And I'm grateful really for all the resources that you've given us, and I'm able to start ahead of the game, I feel like. The third thing that I really enjoyed was the general laboratory safety. I think I didn't even really process this as going into a teacher is how important safety is. Number 1 for our students and number 2 for ourselves. And I think that to protect ourselves legally and against any lawsuits or accusations or anything that could be our fault as a teacher that would potentially help us lose our license, that's a good resource for me. And to see that these safety demonstrations, to tie in the demonstrations as well for safety was really important because I'm not good at the demonstrations and I need to improve on that for sure. But I know that by doing this like modular information on safety, that's helped me a lot to do my demonstration better and to think about how I should explain it to others. So it's helped me improve a lot on my questions and how I think about it. So the next one, the fourth thing I really liked learning about was the teacher's liability. I loved learning about the different teachers and the lawsuits they've had. One thing that my clinical teacher taught me was to always act like somebody's watching because you are a state employee. There's somebody always watching you. Never put yourself in a situation that people could assume or accuse you of doing anything. And I learned that a lot in this class as well. So to take those major takeaways away will be a big step for me because I think that there's always somebody that's ready to point their finger out, and anymore we have to be on our A game at all times because it's nothing to mess around with. Like, we need to know and to be ready for what's ahead of us, and I'm really glad that we talked about that in our class. And then the last one that I took away was the sub-plans. I think that was the last thing on my mind, was to figure out sub-plans and think about those. I just kind of thought like it would come. Had teachers that just shared a movie, and so I think you have to learn if your subs can teach and find those good subs that you can rely on, and that's what I look forward to. And I'm really happy that I took this class. So I mean, I had to take it, but it was a good class. I think I wish there was more time for discussion because I loved that about the class was just advice and questions. I wish there could be a class just for that right before we go into our student teaching. So thank you, Tyson, and I really liked your class.